I'm going to show you step by step on how I would start a brand new print on demand business if I were to start all over again. And if you're someone that's not tech savvy or familiar with any design programs like Photoshop or Canva, it's all good. We're not going to be using any of those softwares. We're going to keep it as simple as possible so that anyone can do this. This is going to be an exciting one because when I first started years ago, they didn't have these tools available. So if I were to start all over again, this is exactly what I would do. So make sure to stay to the very end of the video because this is going to be a jam-packed one, and let's get right into it. Hey guys, welcome back. So the first thing you're going to do is to pick your print on demand service. There are many good ones out there like Printify and Printful, but I personally have been using Printful since day one and I haven't had a problem ever since. They have really good customer service. Whenever a shipment gets lost, they fulfill it and replace it for free. So highly recommend them. But like I said, you want to look through their catalogs and see which one works for you. All these different platforms, they all offer something different. But just to quickly recap on what print on demand services do is basically it's a service that helps fulfill your orders. So you don't have to do anything. You don't have to hold any inventory and you can just start with zero investment essentially. Every time you get an order through your shop, they'll automatically start fulfilling your products right away. And you only pay them when an order comes in. So there's no initial investment. And once they fulfill it, which you'll then pay their share of it to Printful and they'll ship it out. That's just what it is in a nutshell, but we'll go over it later on in this video, like I said. And let's come back up here and let's see what they have in their best sellers. So we see a lot of bomber jackets, joggers, t-shirts is obviously a good one, but sometimes we feel like we don't want to always hit the most saturated market. If you're someone that's familiar with print on demand already, if you've been looking at different videos, you'll know that a lot of people do shirts and maybe mugs. So let's see what else could be best sellers. Maybe iPhone cases. I know that does really well. But right now, we're just getting a general idea so we can start doing the researching phase, which I'll let you know in the second part. So coming down here, something that I've been kind of keeping an eye on are just pillowcases, right? So we can use this as an example moving forward on how to do the research phase. But like I said, you can pretty much do any products and use the same steps that I will show you in this video. All right, so the second step is to choose your marketplace. So as you can see on the screen already, I am showing Etsy. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that Etsy is kind of like my primary marketplace that I like to sell on, along with places like Shopify. But I believe that for anyone starting out in the e-commerce world, Etsy is definitely the easiest one to start. And the reason being is a marketplace like Etsy, they have a huge audience, a huge database of people who shop here regularly already. So instead of you going out and reaching out to people on social media and different platforms being like, hey, buy my products, you can come on here and list your products here and have people searching for products similar to yours, right? People, let's say for example, maybe someone's looking for colorful blue and orange vases. And if you have a product similar to that, yours will pop up and they'll be like, hey, this is pretty much what I'm looking for because I'm already looking for these items. So these are search intent based consumers. So this is kind of what I like to recommend people who are just starting out in the e-commerce world is to use Etsy as a platform to start. And once you get familiar with how different things work, then you can branch out and do different marketplaces. And also Etsy is one of the easiest platforms you can start getting set up. You can pretty much get a shop going within a day. All right, so the third step is to start researching products, just figuring out what you want to start selling in the print on demand category. So like we mentioned earlier, we talked about pillowcases. So I kind of want to start diving into that and do some researching and see what's available already. So we'll come up here to the search bar and just type pillowcases. Or maybe I just do pillowcase. All right, so for this researching phase, we're going to use this tool called EverBee. And you can find it in the link below. You can use it for free to start. And it's enough to get a general idea of what's working. The way to install it is just a Chrome extension tool. So it's very easy. You can follow it step by step on how to download it when you click on the link in the description. But I'm just going to go over on how to actually start using it right away. So let's say you've landed on this page. You have all these different listings of pillowcases. Now we want to know what's actually working. I want to know how much these people are actually making with these products. So I'll come over here to the sidebar. Once you've installed EverBee, it'll pop up on the Etsy site and you'll just click on this analytics. And once you click on that, it'll populate all the listings that was in that previous page and it'll scrape all the different data showing you the shop name, the price, the estimated monthly sales, along with the estimated revenue, okay? Monthly revenue. And this is the most important part that I like to look at when I'm researching a new product category, just to see if it's something worth my time to create a category in. or to create an Etsy shop in. And honestly, I wish I had EverBee when I first started years ago, because this tool is like saves me so much time instead of manually tracking how much people make. It just literally tells you like instantly. So highly recommend it. Check it out. There's a free version. All right. So once this is loaded, I like to click on this filter to range the highest to the lowest. And we're going to ignore this currency for now. I'm not sure what MAD is. If you know, let me know in the comments. But we're going to go looking from top here. So look at these pillowcase listings. For one listing itself, they're making 1,300 USD a month from one listing. So imagine if you had a store, like any listings similar to this, then you could do really well because this is just from one. And this is kind of how I like to research. I kind of go down the list. You can open up the tabs, see their tags and filters, see how long they've opened up. So these listings are 8 months, 0 months. This listing 0 months for $800. All right, that's pretty crazy. So come down here, and this is kind of how I would research. So I'm seeing this one here, 70s pillowcase. Looks pretty cool. And don't worry about the design process of it. I'll go over it in the next step on how you don't need to manually design these. You don't need to be a designer to do these. So I'll show you in the next step. So this is cool, right? They're selling pattern pillowcases and they are making $200 USD. But like I said, if you have many of these, that could really add up. This is just from one listing. And the listing age is, it's opened up very recently ago. So this is amazing. Now you've figured out this pillowcase category is what you want to tap into. Because based on EverBee, you can see all the amount of money people are making from here, and you feel like this is worth your time to tap in and to create a store from. Now, the next step is to create the designs. And don't worry, we're not going to actually manually create them. I will show you a site that I would use to curate these designs. But before we get to that, I just want to see if you're enjoying this video so far. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment if you have any questions. And if you want to learn more about how to be successful selling online, and share this with anyone that you feel could benefit from this. All right, so let's get right back into it. So step number 4 is to find designs for your print-on-demand products. And a site that I recommend is Creative Fabrica. You can choose a lot of different fonts and graphics and different design elements, but in this one, we're specifically going to go over patterns, just because in the previous step, we kind of looked at different pillowcases that had a lot of successful listings selling pillowcases with just patterns. So let's look for that right now. Let's come over here to graphics and go down to patterns. All right, so coming down here, look at all these different patterns you can do, different themes. You got Halloween, you got animals, floral. These are crazy. These are kind of similar to what we saw earlier. And just to go over some of the pricing, if you look at the link in my description, you'll find that I am in a partnership with them. So you can access all of these things for just $1 for the first month. But with the subscription, you'll be able to use them in a commercial license, which means that you can actually just use these designs and put it right into your print-on-demand services so that you don't have to create any modifications. And this is the beauty of it, right? Because like I mentioned before, that you don't have to be a creative person to start this business. All you have to do is just curate the correct designs that you want and put it into the products. So definitely check it out in the link below if you want to start just for $1 the first month. But coming back here, if you see these patterns, these are really nice. And if you look at the one that we were just looking at, they're different, but similar styles, right? So this is a more 70s vintage kind of floral pattern. This is maybe a different type of era, but we never want to create a product exactly like it, but we want to know that if certain elements work in another format, it'll probably work in this as well. And let's say if we didn't want to do pillowcases with this, you can probably put this on phone cases. You can put this on shower curtains because that's another print-on-demand product that you can do. And there's just so many different possibilities that you can use these graphics in. But yeah, I know I just clicked on this very quickly, but if you keep looking at it, there's a lot of different other patterns and graphics that you can use from Creative Fabrica. All right, so we started from finding your print-on-demand service to researching the category that you want to do, and then finding the exact designs that you want to put on your products. And now the next step is actually creating the shop itself, which you would just do on Etsy, and you just click on Get Started here, which I have a link below as well. And obviously there's a lot more steps to creating the shop itself, but I have a lot of other videos that you can check out that will show you how to do that exactly. But like I said, I'm gonna keep this video more high level and the overall scope on the step-by-step guide. I just want to show you one last step after you have the shop set up and you have the products listed on Etsy. I want to show you a tip that I think is probably the most important one for anyone selling print-on-demand products. And one of them are mockups. If you look at the mockups that you have on Printful, if you put your products into these images, like they look really good here, but these are going to be the pictures that anyone will be using on Etsy. And if you want to find a way to stand out from the rest of the people doing print-on-demand pillowcases, you want to make sure that you have your own unique mockups. And how I would do that is using a place called Placeit. And like I said before, they didn't have this like years ago. So I'm pretty jealous that they had this now. But obviously, this is something that I've been doing now moving forward. And I also have a link in my description with a 15% discount if you want to use that. But let's go right up here. If you look at mockups and you go to print on demand, look at all these different products that you can use for mockups. So like I said, we're going to be doing pillowcases. So let's click on that. And coming down here, look at this. Look at all these different images that you can use to put your design in. And like I said in the last step with Creative Fabrica, once you've downloaded those designs, you can literally just upload them onto here. It's just a drag and drop method, and it'll populate the image itself and put your design in there. And look how some of these are really nice. Like this one right here, this one could do really well as a front image, as the main image for your listing, because it's just on a nice, great background. And I'm sure you guys all know, like I love doing that as my front image. So nothing is very distracting. It's just keeping it clean, straight down to the product itself. So there's no confusion. And then when it comes down to the lifestyle ones, you can do any of these images. This one's, I don't know if I'm put it outside. We're doing things inside, but yeah, there's so many that you can choose from. And like I mentioned before, this is something that anyone could do because you don't have to use any programs like Photoshop to do mockups, which I personally do, but these are easier for people who aren't familiar with those tools, and you can just drag and drop here, which is perfect. And yeah, that's like kind of like my step-by-step overall scope on how I would proceed if I were to start a print-on-demand business. And there's obviously so much more within each of these steps that I can go over, like all the technical side on how to do these research, how to use EverBee, how to do the actual product researching. Hopefully in this video, I was able to show you the framework on how exactly everything will map out and how you can follow it step by step. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you want to learn more about how to be successful selling online. Also, something else I want to add is that recently I started doing one-on-one coaching sessions, which you can also find in the description. If you want to reach out to me to have a quick call, we can review your shop. I can talk more about how to do this. So looking forward to that, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.